Tony Fleming from Fleming's Ultimate Garage. Thank you on joining me on the last year supermodel. You say, Tone, is this an old supermodel or a young supermodel or what kind of supermodel is it? Here's what it is, I'm going to tell you. 67 GTO, last year for this body style. This is an iconic car. First off, GTO, if you are into cars at all, even if you're not into cars, you already know what a GTO is. And then when you show up in something like this here, wrapped in the colors that this is, as well as not only the body style, but this has a lot of great options and features too, which we're going to walk around and look at. And then we're going to actually look at a couple things if you want to make some small changes along the way before we ship it to you. That could happen as well, which is super cool to have your hand and be part of something like that. So we'll spend a few minutes doing all that stuff, and we will shall now get rolling. All right, so we talk about paint and things like that, but first let me run and talk about wheels and tires. So the wheel and tire selection here is actually not the way it rolled off the showroom floor. However, it makes for a much better driving experience. So you could decide whether you wanted to go with the Rally 1s and the bias ply tire, which made it more authentic, right? Because this is a super rare car, right? And then it won't drive as well, but it'll look great. But they've also now come out with a radial version of these old school tires. That change is the game, all right? Anyway, so you can do Rally 1s or Rally 2s, you can do radials or non-radials. That's one small change you can make. The one change you don't need to make, right, is how beautiful this Regimental Red is. This is our test. We always do kind of this reading challenge that we do here, and meaning that you can see every letter that's in there. And I'm not talking about just seeing the letters in the paint. I'm seeing the crispest of it, right? The shinier the paint, okay, the shinier the paint, the clearer and crisper the letter is, right? So let's take a peek at that real quick and see what we're talking about. And sure enough, in this paint right here, we're looking right now, the paint is what I refer to as mirror finish, because you're seeing everything on that piece of paper reflected in it, just like if you were here. All right, so let's take a peek under the hood, and oh, well, hold on a second before we get to that place. You may never look under here or care to be under here, but the good news is it's prepared in case you wanted to go to a car show, you wanted to show some friends and things like that, what we got going on under here, and let's look at the detail, all right? There's also some options here that we forget to ask about. In today's modern car, they all come with power steering and power brakes. Most old school cars did not come with that. This car here does have power steering and it has power brakes. It's also dressed up nicely with the battery topper, the correct decal and callouts there, the AC filter, things like that, the chrome valve covers that would have come on there, and painted the correct color blue of the engine for this year because it changes later on, right? Lastly, too, this is all detailed in here. I don't know what happened to the overflow cap. Somehow we lost it, but we'll obviously replace that before you get it. But that's what I love about a live video like this that we're doing. We can talk about how much is great, okay, and the small little thing that we made a mistake on and lost the cap here, and also the plug wires should be black if that bothers you. We can certainly change the plug wires on there, and that makes the engine compartment really kind of done. And it is really detailed. The cowl tag is right there where it's supposed to be during the detail process and the restoration of this car. This has all been sanded and finished properly. It's not spray bombed black everywhere. This is painted under here. It's actually just a really nice restoration of a nice car, and a super rare car when you have a YZ stamped motor, right? Stamped on there for the 360 horsepower HO block. HO engine, I should say, adding extra power, right? And making it more rare because there's a lot less of these out there than the standard 335 horse. And what a good looking hood. All right, so we have a restored car. What does that mean exactly? Well, what it means is this: you have really nice chrome and stainless. You have an upgraded exhaust system in here, right? You also have 67 taillights. That's the defining piece of this last year model of this car, all right? And then in here, we have a detailed trunk done with a couple really nice things. You say, Tone, what's the big deal about a sticker? Well, here's the difference between a car with stickers and without, is that you don't have to take this extra step to detail the car properly. putting the jacking instructions here, how to stow the jack, the spare tire cover in the correct color, the mat in the correct color, and also the trunk splatter painted the correct color as well, and also clear coated over the splatter paint, because if it gets wet at all under the mat or whatever and you don't clear coat the paint, then you get that rust and it doesn't look good in there. It's only surface, but it's ugly. This is done properly. We did it here. This also has, which is kind of cool, we wanted to save this. This has the original radio, which I think that we should put back in the dash, because the one that's in there is an aftermarket stereo. This would look super cool. And then we could also add a modern stereo in the glove box for you. That way you can stream your music, get your tunes going, and the dash would look super cool with the gauges and the stock radio in it. So I think I'll probably think about at least putting that radio back in the dash, and then you can tell us whether you want to get the stereo in the glove box. All right, cool piece, done nicely. If you go to a car show, you're going to want to open the hood and the trunk. You're going to want everybody to see all this, and it's ready to do all that. All right, so you're going to come join me inside here, but before we get in, I want you to hear something. That's a good sign. Why is that a good sign? Because that means that somebody put some time when restoring this car into the windows and all the stuff that's inside there. Otherwise, they rattle over time. So, a couple small correct, a couple small incorrect pieces in here. Interior is beautiful. This is all correct, looks good. Headliner, seat covers, carpets, mats, factory console, his and hers shifter. Again, this is not the correct shift knob, but it looks pretty cool on there. The his and hers on both sides works like it's supposed to. The gate's there, it locks in place. It's a 3-speed automatic this year. You know, the earlier models had a 2-speed. This also has the Rally -2, so you got the tach, you got the speedometer, you got full gauges, right? We do have the original radio, which I mentioned, which I think we should put in here because I think it'll look good. And then we have the correct steering wheel. We're doing the video before I had time to get it on here, so the correct wheel will be on here by the time you take delivery of it. And I think it'll be a nice piece. If you don't like the Hurst knob, let us know. We can always put the standard matching knob that goes with the console. But other than that, the car is really nice inside. And what I love most about these cars is this is a comfortable car. It's a Chevelle size car, right? The Camaro is a great car, but it makes it a little tough when you want to take another couple out to dinner, or you want to take the 3 kids someplace. It can get a little bit tight in the back seat. Here, we have plenty of room to go for a cruise. Not to mention, man, you want to go to work like in this car. On a Friday, you want to get in the car. You want to go there, do your thing at work, right? Show them that you're still the boss, right? All right? Pulling up in your cool GTO. How you doing, right? But more importantly, you want to leave work. And you know what I mean when you leave work? Well, you want to leave work, you want to call whoever it is on the phone that you're on the way home, you're heading there, and you'll be there shortly, and you want to shut the phone off, man. Kill the Twitter feed, Facebook, email, boss texting, everybody, shut it off. Turn on some music. Start this car, throw it in drive, man. It's like a therapy session. You're just wheeling down the road, engines rising and falling in between shifts. People are giving you a thumbs up. The car sounds good, looks good, and feels good, and it is a game changer. Anyway, that's all I want to talk about that. All right, so let's close up this video and let's talk about why this car, why this particular GTO maybe has some more value than others. For instance, it's a last year body style, which is great looking, all right? Secondly, it's the HO version, right? Which there's a lot less of these in the standard horsepower version GTO, okay? So it's got a collector quality all about it already. It is great looking. And third, it has a lot of great options on it, man. Power steering, power brakes, the Rally dash with a tach and full gauges, not just idiot lights, right? Original AM stereo in it, radial tires, it's beautiful, it's detailed underneath. It's just got all the right things to make it a great car and make for great driving too. Because even if you don't want to show this car, like go to a show on a weekend or whatever, it's an amazing piece to go out to dinner with the kids or family or friends. It's a game changer for that. Obviously, it would change things a lot going in this versus maybe the minivan that you have to drive every day. So just a thought, think about that. Anyway, call us 301-816-1000. I'll tell you all about this 67 GTO HO Coupe. And if you would, please don't forget to like the video down below. Subscribe to the channel. We have new stuff coming out all the time. And if you would share it with your friends, I hope they'll like it as well. And I will see you on the test drive.